You're watching Canadian Muslim News on Muslim Network TV from Toronto, Ontario. This is Saamiyah Syed. Welcome to the show. Joining us shortly is Brother Habib on a new social networking app for Muslims, Muslimdo. But first, let's take a look at some headlines. Charter plane carries 311 Afghan refugees to Halifax. Supreme Court of Canada denies hearing Indigenous case. York police seeking suspect for mosque vandalism in Thornhill. OIC ministers discuss combating Islamophobia. And now the details. A charter flight from Pakistan carrying 311 Afghan nationals has arrived Wednesday in Halifax, Canada. Sean Fraser, Federal Minister of Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship, welcomed the newcomers. The flight carried privately sponsored and government-assisted refugees and family members of Afghans who worked with the Canadian government. The refugees are destined for nearly 20 communities, including Toronto and Fredericton and St. John in New Brunswick. The Government of Canada committed to bring 40,000 Afghan refugees when Kabul fell to the Taliban in August last year. However, more than a year later, only 22,581 have been brought here. The Supreme Court of Canada has refused yesterday to hear the case of residential school survivors who have been fighting against Ottawa to access records of abuse. A group of survivors from St. Anne's Residential School in Northern Ontario had been demanding the documents for the last decade. In 2006, a pact named the Indian Residential Schools Settlement Agreement was drawn between the federal government, residential school survivors, the Assembly of First Nations, and churches. It governed the financial compensation the survivors would receive based on transcripts of criminal trials and investigative reports from Ontario's police. Survivors argued the transcripts were censored so that proper compensation could not be determined. The York Regional Police are seeking witnesses for a suspect who spray-painted last Friday derogatory anti-Iranian language on 3 areas of the Imam Mehdi Center in Thornhill, Toronto. The male suspect vandalized the mosque on October 13. Nadia Hassan, Chief Operating Officer of the National Council of Canadian Muslims, says that the Islamic community is being pushed into the spotlight for the wrong reasons. A longtime member of the Islamic Center says to local media she knows why people in Iran are angry at the government. However, she says, in Canada, there should be peaceful dialogue and not vandalism and threats of violence. Information ministers of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, the OIC, want to step up efforts against disinformation and Islamophobia. An OIC official tells the preparatory meeting of the conference Friday in Istanbul, quote, "The Islamic world faces challenges that require responsibility to present its message in a thoughtful way." The OIC Secretary General will address the opening session of the conference on Saturday, where he is expected to focus on the role of the largest Muslim body in disseminating information. The conference is expected to discuss issues including intensifying media action on the question of Palestine and challenges facing the African OIC member states. And that's it for the news. Now, there's a new mobile app that is centered around social networking for Muslims. Muslimdo brings together businesses, Islamic organizations, institutions, and more all to one app. To tell us more about the app is the CEO of Muslimdo, Brother Habib. Welcome, Brother Habib, and thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me today.
Brother Habib, I briefly went over the app, but tell me more. What exactly is Muslimdo?
Muslimdo is a hub that's been created and designed to put the complete Muslim society that lives in non-Muslim country, like what we have today in Canada. The 3 component that makes up our community is the Muslim individuals, the Islamic organizations, and the Muslim businesses. If we frame them all together, then we have a Muslim community. The hub allows the 3 components to connect with each other in bidirectional way, in a way that it will help the community to get together and find, search, and reach to each other.
Mhm. Is this app meant only for Canada or all of North America?
The app is meant, as I said earlier, for any Muslim community that lives in a non-Muslim country.
Mhm. Now, I also said, and you mentioned as well, that you can find institutions, businesses, everything on the app. Does Muslimdo automatically categorize or include these organizations on their app, or do these organizations have to reach out to Muslimdo?
Very nice question. The app today has two directories, one for Islamic organizations, that all type of categories of Islamic organizations, which means community centers, charity organizations, children, and so on. And also at the same time has a business directory that includes all type of businesses. And this is the first stage. Inshallah, in the next stage, we will have freelancers and productive families added to the directory. The e-directory is equipped with a search engine and categorization filters that you will be able to filter separately, or you can just add put in any search word and you will get some results based on what you're searching for.
Mhm. Now, the app certainly sounds very interesting, but I'm just curious, how did you come up with the idea to create such an app?
Actually, the idea came from realizing the difficulty and the pain that we had during COVID-19. And during COVID-19, we were all disconnected. We couldn't reach to each other. We couldn't find each other. And we wanted to find a solution for that pain. So we did communicate with several organizations and community centers. They explained to us their pain. They explained to us what are the difficulties. And alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, the team that we have was able to put together a solution that consists of two separate CRM system, which is customer relation management systems in the back end. One especially for the Islamic organizations, customized for it. And the other one is for the Muslim businesses. Both CRMs has one interface, which is the mobile app. So this is much more than just a mobile app. This is a complete system that is equipped with also five different portals. The first portal is a communication portal. We do have also a event portal, crowdfunding and fundraising portal, volunteer and job portal, and the very last one is a marketplace portal, inshallah. The first three, which is the communication, event, and crowdfunding, alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, we were able to finish them, and we just launched last week the event portal.
Mhm. Now, you said you already released parts of the app, and I saw it on the App Store as well. How has it been received so far?
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, we softly launched the app on the app stores last Ramadan. And we did have an incredible and very nice receiving from the community. One of the main features that we have in the app is the capability of having what we call Muslimdo TV, which is a capability of broadcasting and putting together programs for Muslims during Ramadan. That was one of the very big attractions. Beside that, we have a complete section for ibadat, which means the Muslim could find out or can find out the adhan time, iqamah time of his masjid. He can open the Quran to read. If he cannot read the Quran, he can open the radio to listen to Quran Kareem. There's a tasbih feature and there's the qibla feature. With all of these features, the Muslim is well served with some of the features that can help him enjoying his ibadat in more convenient way.
Mhm. Now, from what you said, Muslimdo has already released a little bit of an expansion to the app. You said that there was live TV now, but from what I hear, there is also a directory for Muslims. Can you share more about this expansion and the directory?
Yes, alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, the directory today has a great feature of search and capability of filtering. The directory contains today more than 730 Islamic organizations, more than 3,000 Muslim businesses, And all of those, inshallah ta'ala, we will put them together on a marketplace. This is the very final portal that we are working on right now. And inshallah, we plan to finish it by the end of this year. The portal will serve the community well in terms of searching, finding, and reaching out to Islamic and Muslim organizations.
Mm-hmm. Now, one thing I keep wondering to myself as you were telling me and as I was reading about Muslimdo is that there are many apps that are already capture some of these ideas, you know, giving prayer notifications or reminders or registering for local mosques and prayer times and crowdfunding. But Muslimdo is coming out with one area to do all of this. How is it different from all these other apps then?
Well, the size and the capabilities of the application, coming up with a holistic or what it's called right now super app, is a totally new approach, and probably we're the very first in the market to come up with such an application. This is due to that our community size is small. Usually when a Muslim community lives in a non-Muslim community or country, become a minority. And as a minority, you need a lot of services, you need a lot of help to live more conveniently as a Muslim. So the app looks after all the wants and needs of the community together, not only the Muslim individual, but rather also the Islamic organizations and the Muslim businesses, and give them a lot of solutions of what they are facing on day-to-day life and how they can be connected all together. And inshallah, down in the future, once all the 5 portals are completed, then inshallah we will be able to bring up the section where communities can be created on the app and people can connect coast to coast in Canada.
And that's the idea of having a Muslim social media. Well, thank you so much for your time, Brother Habib. It was a pleasure having you on the show, and best of luck with Muslimdo.
Thank you very much for having me today. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. You are watching Canadian Muslim News on Muslim Network TV. That's it from our Toronto studios tonight. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more Canadian Muslim content. Stay safe, and until next time.